back then were nomads. That's what they were called. Okay, nomads are people who ain't got no place where they can say, this my crib. They go from place to place, trading with folk and doing all type of folk stuff to, with people. And they got tents on their back, and wherever they decide to rest their head, that's where they gonna be.
That's right.
African people had civilization and we had a crib. See, we might go somewhere else, but we always can go back home. They couldn't do this. Another group of nomads was the Arabics. I'll be nice. I'm gonna call them Arabics. We're gonna talk about them today too.
Get on.
The entire New Testament was written approximately between 60 and 95 AD. We must examine what was going on at that time and who was ruling, who were Christians and who were not Christians. All right? We also must remember that these gospels were not books, but letters to someone or a group of people. Acts was a letter written to a man named Theophilus. Check this out. This dude, Theophilus, he ain't even exist. They ain't got no evidence that this dude even existed. No. See, this is the problem that I got, and somebody got to tell it, so I'm just going to tell it. Who is Theophilus? Now, this is supposed to be, I know who he is, but I'm saying, where's the historical evidence that he existed? Just like ain't no historical evidence that a man named Jesus Christ existed. None. There were certain people that were historians back then, and they mentioned a Christ, but they never put Jesus in there. That's kind of amazing. See, Christ is just a title. That's all it is. It means anointed one, and that was stolen. Krishna, the black one. Alright? And you got to remember something. When they were writing these books, and this is something I'm familiar with. I love the theology of this, because I studied this stuff. But they didn't know when they was writing that somebody was going to come along and make them a book. Like when Paul was writing this letter, he wasn't like, well, we going to write this down. And then one day somebody going to come along and they're going to put all these books together and they're going to call it the Bible. Didn't nobody know that. That's something that happened like later on. So late that a dude named King James, I want to say a dude or a woman, in 1611 decided to publish this book. Alright? Now if y'all know anything about King James, he wasn't normal. He was gay. Okay, I'm gonna say it.
Make it plain.
Tell it like it is.
Now, this is another thing that I want to get into. Let's talk about 1611. Because from my understanding, in the 16th century, we was getting our tail whooped. Am I wrong?
Facts.
Why would you believe a group of people that don't like you? See, this is... Why would you believe a group of people that's writing a holy book? The holy biblios, in Greek, biblios, sacred book. That's what it means in the Greek. A lot of Christians don't know that either. I'm like, what's the definition of a Bible? I don't know. Well, when you find out the definition of the Bible, then you come back and talk to me about the Bible. And I ain't saying, I'm not trying to act like I know everything, but it's just certain stuff if you're going to come at me, because I don't claim to know everything. So I'll be the first one to say, I don't know. I mean, my buddy said he'd tell you. It's just certain stuff I don't know, but what I do know, I'm going to share. But don't come at me like you know what's up. And you don't know what's up. So why would you listen to a group of people that at this time, they was putting you on a boat? Do me a favor, Moses. Can you find my boat picture, please? I'm going to be using you, brother. This is my boy Moses right here. He's going to help me out. It's a picture in there with the slave ship. And I want to show that, since I'm talking about it. Yeah, this is real. See, they actually have pictures and artifacts showing how they lined us up like animals. I mean, I think that the animals on Noah's Ark got treated better than we did. They got us lined up in chains, like a British boat that I'm about to show y'all. Alright?
Packed like sardines.
Yeah, packed like sardines. Well, not just that, but they if say we got sick, not only was they raping our women on top they was having their fun. Come on, y'all know they was having their fun. All right. You know what I'm saying? Them white boys was grabbing the women, they probably was having parties, drinking on their way to the, that was a long trip. Raping the women, making little mulatto babies. And would like, if you sick or they feel like they couldn't sell you, because you remember they were selling slaves. This was a profit thing. We wasn't even human. Matter of fact, the Pope, they asked the Pope, like, can we get these black folk and make them slaves? The Pope was like, let me get back with you. This is true. Y'all can go look this up. The Pope thought about it for a minute. You know what? Let me write some stuff down and let you. Okay, you know what? They subhuman. They ain't even human. So yeah, they out the will of God too. So you can go ahead and make them slaves. That's what happened. All right, pass that around for me, brother. So like I said, let's get back to King James. Why would I listen to a group of people that don't like me? Okay? Remember this too, in the New Testament, it was written like almost 100 years after Jesus. If I was to tell y'all a story right now, by the time we get to the east side, it's going to be something totally different. It happens all the time.
That's right.
So can you imagine what the story is like 100 years later? It's going to be totally changed. I mean, go do your research. 100 years. You got to remember this too. It was a lot of kids named Jesus back then. Real term Yeshua, let's stick with the real term. Yeshua ben Yosef was the main one that they was talking about. Jesus was like John, like today. You know, there was a lot of little baby Jesus is walking around. So which one is you talking about? Not to mention the fact that he was supposed to be born 4 to 6 BC. Okay, well, which Christ you talking about then if he's supposed to be born 4 to 6 BC? It should have went to 0, right? Hey, I mean, go do your research. I actually got a book at the crib, but Jesus was born 4 to 6 BC. What Christ you talking about? I mean, certain stuff you just got to line up and just match it and say, this don't match. You know how you put a puzzle together? If the piece don't fit, that ain't where it's supposed to go. Don't try to shove the piece, you know. Alright? BC, by the way, means before Christ. Anno Domini, that's what we in right now. It means the year of our Lord. That's what we supposed to be in right now. And another dude I want to talk about, since we talking about, because I really want to tap into this, and then on part 1 and I couldn't do it because I was at a church. Let's talk about this one dude. Can you find my picture, man? Ptolemy Soter. Let me break something down to y'all. Alexander the Great, when he came in around 33, 32 BC, is that the right? About 332 BC? Was it?
Yeah.
Right around that.
Okay. Around that time. What he did was he didn't just like take over, like a lot of people say, well, he took over. No, this dude, let me tell you what he did. He didn't just take over Egypt. And not only was he just butt naked with a cape on and a sword, just swinging and just whatever, you know, whoever throat get cut, you know, whatever. Not only was he doing that with his barbaric self, but this dude like had like 4 generals that he assigned. Like, you gonna rule over here, the other general gonna rule over here, and this general gonna rule on it. So he was just trying to take over the world. He wasn't just trying to take over Egypt. So one of those generals that he had was named Ptolemy Soter. Matter of fact, pass this picture around. This is Alexander the Great, y'all. He was like the head honcho. Alright? One of these people that he, you know, I'm gonna put this picture to the side because I'm gonna tap off into that. One of these people he got was Ptolemy Soter. Now let me tell y'all about Ptolemy Soter. He a trip. Because let me tell you what this white boy did. He like wanted to be down so bad that he like, we talking about this, so we got it. He wanted to be down so bad that he made the Egyptians back then, they had kings. What they did was they made busts, they called busts of kings. One might be big, one might be small, whatever. They paid, they paid homage to the king. You know, they believed there was an honor. See, we were called like gods. You know, a lot of people in the church, they say, hold on, bro, let me get that back. A lot of people, they say, well, you should call each other gods, and, that's blasphemy. And, well, we came from God, so, I believe I'm the son of God. Sons and daughters of God.
That's right.
Yeah, lowercase g, whatever. It's no disrespect. Even in the Bible, it says, you shouldn't worship no other God before me, but it said, don't put no other gods before me. So even God honored other gods Yeah, the Bible say that. So yes, I'm talking about the Christians. So don't, you know, yeah. Because I'm just saying. I mean, majority of America, this is supposed to be a Christian country, right? So let's analyze this. Let's analyze this very thing about Christianity. All right. Getting back to Ptolemy Soter, he made them make him a bust of himself in Egyptian clothes. I just seen one of these dudes at my studio. You know, a white boy that want to be a rapper. He told me the best rapper, a white boy. Yeah. So he was like, you know, I'm the best rapper. And I'm like, all right, you know, just go do something else though, because we started rap. But anyway, that's something else. But he wanted the priest or the high priest at the time, or yeah, to like basically what we call like anoint him, basically. So they're like, you know, y'all got all these gods, and you know, y'all doing y'all thing. Can I be down? I mean, because if I'm not down, I'm gonna kill you. So they was like, yeah, we down, no problem. So they made a bust of them, and they made this one god named Serapis. You know, and I passed the picture along of Serapis, and everybody want to talk about the depiction that Michelangelo gave of Jesus. Well, where'd that come from? Why did he, you know, do that? It had to come from somewhere. Well, in the British Museum, they got these pictures of Serapis. Now, this before Christ. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit since I'm talking about this. It was a dude named Hadrian. And I'm just going to read to y'all like what he got down here. All right? Just, you can go look this up. Egypt, which you commended to me, my dearest Servanius, whatever. I have found to be wholly fickle and inconsistent. I guess he talking about Egypt, and continually wafted about by every breath of fame. The worshippers of Serapis here are called Christians. Now this is like in 134 AD. And those who are devoted to the god Serapis, I find, call themselves the bishops of Christ. Now, that's like kind of deep to me because, yeah, we taught in church that Christians are people that worship Jesus Christ. I mean, am I right? So, how is they called Christians? So see, that lets you know right there that it was other Christians besides the Christians that we are today. So if somebody want to get off into the debate, just ask them about, you know, Hadrian. Pass that picture along. Somebody. I have a question too. Well, you know, you ain't got to answer it, but one of the questions I ask myself is, there's a couple questions, and I want to tap off into this. Let me get back. I just want to get comfortable, y'all. Like, because this is one of the main things I'm talking about in part 2. Why there ain't no map in the church? What is it that the preacher don't want you to know? Yeah. I mean, we know about the little map in the back of the Bible. That ain't even a map. That's like a piece of I don't know what that is. Just a piece of land in the back of the Bible with the little river. This a map. Right here. See, when you talk about the land of Ur and, you know, Chaldea and Turkey and all these places, and, you know, the kings of the north that's supposed to come down and do beastly things, you gotta have a map. You can't have a little river in the back. You know, you can't have just this section right here. This is the Bible map right here.
That's good.
So think about it. If this all you got to work with, I ain't gonna be able to learn too much with just that area. Especially when it talks about the Garden of Eden and how the outskirt rivers was around Cush, Ethiopia. I mean, that's way down here. So it sounds like to me when they set that up, it's just something they want you to know. When you ever want to rule over somebody, you gotta hide some information. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
All right. I'm just gonna go through this. You know, like I said, I'm going. Y'all don't mind me freestyling, right?
I'll do your thing.
All right. Well, since we talking about the Bible, because this is where I left off on part 2, the Bible and the Christian and, you know, and all this stuff. So we're gonna get off into this. Nebuchadnezzar II, that was it was a few Nebuchadnezzars if I'm not mistaken. Well, one of them was the second, Nebuchadnezzar II, and he was the Nebuchadnezzar that they talked about in the Bible. Now, there's a lot of debate about this, you know, because a lot of people say, well, you know, this group was mixed with this group, and this group was mixed with this group, and we don't know if they was right. We don't know, we talk. Me and my buddies, we talk about this all the time. This is like an early depiction of Nebuchadnezzar II that I found, and the dude looked white. I mean, he looked, you know, he don't look black. He not even light. It's like I'm looking at his features, and his features, he just don't look African. And the dude raised all kind of hell. See, a lot of people don't know about the early African slavery going on. Let's talk about that just for a hot second, because I'm gonna tap off into that later. But the Canaanites, the Hebrews, and the Israelites, they basically the same thing. I mean, we get up, see, they changed all that up. These ain't nothing but a group of black folks that migrated to another part of the world, and then they broke off into that group, and that's all it is. That's all used to confuse you. So he gave the people that migrated, you know, up in the north a little hell. You know, let me go to my map. Like, okay, this where they should have stayed, and they wouldn't have gotten the trouble they got in. And they start going all up in here, Saudi Arabia, Iran, all these places. And I don't know what was up with these group of people, but later on they caught a little hell. And Nebuchadnezzar was responsible for this. Now, if you don't believe me, I believe it's the book of Jeremiah, Nebuchadnezzar the second is mentioned in that book of Jeremiah. So you can check that out. Now these are actual artifacts. And this is what I'm saying, when you go to church, they don't show you no artifacts. They should. Here go another dude. Let me say this too. Assyrians, Persians, and Arabs, they all the same thing. From doing my research, from what I, they just broke off. This group started, and then they broke off, because they look the same to me. And I actually got a picture of like Bin Laden in the old school. Yeah, I'm gonna show that in a minute. And they look the same. Now, if y'all know anything about slavery and black folks, y'all know that white folks ain't enslaved us first.
Talk about it.
They ain't enslaved us first. Well, what are you talking about? I know you hear. What are you, people be like, what are you talking about? Well, like I said, you had this group of people, the Syrians, the Persians, and the Arabic people that came. First of all, let me break some on down. It all went down in a little domino effect, because when you talk about Arabics, they are AD people. Ain't no BC going on with the Arabs. Not to discredit them or nothing, but they have no type of nothing when it comes to ancient nothing. So, I mean, the Arabics, I'm saying. The Arabics.
Not for commercial usage. Not for commercial usage.
So, check me out.
Usage.
Should I spit that fake shit?
Nah, spit that real shit.
Should I spit that fake shit?
Nah, spit that real shit.
Should I spit that fake shit?
Nah, spit that real shit. That real make these niggas wanna hit the dance floor.
Should I spit that fake shit?
Nah, spit that real shit.
Should I spit that fake shit?
Nah, spit that real shit.
Should I spit that fake shit?
Nah, spit that real shit. That real cause they boss and they need to know.
You see these fake bitches, fake niggas with fake riches. You dumb niggas who won't listen and in prison. Your soul's missing. Been wishing that you would listen, but that system got you locked. Your boy snitching, your girl tricking. You just another number nigga, just because you tried to show your nuts was bigger. Killing your own brother, fucker, how does it feel? Cause now your ass in the joint, they got you wearing them heels. I bet your bottom dollar you can't flow like me. Nigga, I bet your bottom dollar you can't track like me. Name a nigga who can hustle, get a stack like me. You see your dick ain't big enough to blow a back like me. Ain't rapping black like me, ain't quoting facts like me. Even niggas with Nick ain't got a neck like me. You better call the police, because Gennaro's a